There we go. Hello. Now we are just starting. How are you, man?
I'm all good, Halloween, good vibes.
Nice. Thanks for joining Manada Podcast. Very happy to have you here. I've seen some of your posts on Instagram. Uh, like you guys are a hip hop group. So I'd like to know more from you guys what you guys do. How did you guys meet each other? I know it's a mix of Latin, Brazilians, Venezuela, and you as an Irish. Are there more Irish? Tell me more about the group. How did you guys meet up? And
Yeah, so
yeah,
the way we met is that I reached out to the band community and I was looking to work with different people, artists, and different things.
right,
And I met my friend, who's one of my best friends, Tandin from Venezuela. And then we started, oh, we want to start making music. He raps in Spanish. And we started making music, doing events. And I told him, oh, do you want to go and do a night in one of the Dublin events? And then we ended up starting and doing music. I think it was like maybe the third day that we knew each other. And then we started doing music. And
right.
then we went to a random night in Dublin, Dashi's Bar. And then we met a friend, Aka Zero Seje Yum from Bahia, Salvador.
Oh wow,
So yeah, it all started from Dashi's Bar.
very nice. Is there? How is the scene of hip hop in Ireland? Like, is
Yeah,
it big?
it's really grown. The thing for myself is that I knew that there was a lack of kind of Spanish, Portuguese, because it's mostly when you go to the events, it's mostly English that's being spoken. But now in the last few years, Brazilians are starting to create a scene for themselves, and thankfully, our friends are helping us on the journey. I don't know if you know too much about CANTITO.
No.
So Canchito are a Dublin-based like event organisation that help musicians, artists of all different things, and it's run by Louisa and many of our friends, and they gave us the opportunity to perform.
Oh wow,
Canchito is absolutely fantastic.
very cool. It's good to have a place like that. Someone that can support the
Yeah, too
scene.
right, too
How
right.
is the? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, no worries, man. Is there any like? I like the Spanish in as a rap as hip hop. I think it's a good combination. I don't know if it's because I can understand as a Brazilian, but I like how it sounds. I like more the Spanish in hip hop than Portuguese. I think the Spanish has kind of, I don't know. I just like it. And uh, is there any specific inspiration of you guys? Like you can say, oh, we like these guys, or what
Oh, if
would
we're
you
gonna, if
say
we're
about
gonna,
this?
yeah.
Yeah,
If we're gonna talk about one of the biggest inspirations for myself, and I've started to listen to him since like last year, and I was kind of raging at myself for not listening to him sooner, is Concerbero from Venezuela. He talks a
right,
lot about he has an album called Les Mortes, and he has another album called Vida, and he talks about a lot of the political things that happens in Venezuela and many of the other
right.
Spanish-speaking countries. But he's well regarded, like the likes of Mono Brown in Brazil. He's very similar.
Oh, wow,
He's big
very
all
nice.
over Latin America. Like,
And how do you like Mano Brown? Like as a Irish person,
whoa,
how do you listen to it? How do you get connected to to the music?
whoa. Like the thing is that I was watching the documentary on Racionais MCs, and
Right,
the story of how they started how they came from the favelas, the way that the policia treat people of darker skin color in Brazil really kind of resonated with what I talk about for years because most of my inspirations are like Malcolm X, UEP Newton, the Black Panther movement in North America, and I was listening to him talking about the favelas and how people are treated and how the inequality is in Brazil, and it really resonated. And then I started listening to his album, a few of the albums that he done, and I was like, holy. And then obviously I had to get my friends out of the translator. I had to translate the lyrics to listen to it
Yeah.
because I didn't understand much Portuguese. But every day since I've been listening to Racionais MC, Sabotage, MV Bill,
Oh wow.
Jonga, and
Yeah.
constantly listening to different artists, different perspectives in Brazil as well about what's happening in Brazil.
Yeah, totally. Like the hip hop there, mostly of the topics are the same thing, talking about things that happen in favelas and uh, the inequality, uh, and most of the lyrics are based in these topics, which is, to kind of wake society to look at them and see what's going on there. How about the lyrics of you guys? Is there any specific particular topic you guys go through, like Irish problems
Oh,
or in general?
me. I
Yeah.
most of my lyrics are all about geopolitics and connection and how we relate from, say, the ghetto in Dublin to the ghetto in Sao Paulo to the ghetto in like Caracas or the ghettos in America. Like I always try and find the connections of how we come together and the lyrics translate because they're saying. So we'd say the same thing in Brazil, the same thing in Dublin of how we're treated by different systems, corruption, the whole lot, how we're seen as unequal in society. And then people in Sao Paulo are saying the same thing. People are saying the same thing in Caracas. The same people are saying the same
Totally.
thing in Japan in different ways. So
Yeah.
it's just looking for that connection and the relation between the two because we have the same message. It's just that we speak different languages, and that's what kind of turns people away from wanting to learn. But we all have different disadvantages, and I don't
Totally.
think people look too deep into it.
Totally. How about you guys in terms of how do you guys manifest yourselves, like in the media? Do you guys use different ways, not only singing, like
Yeah,
protesting or you know
yeah. Myself. The original concept of YLX was actually a docu series about the misconception of Latin Americans and how they're treated by the media. Because if you look throughout history, it's always like the likes of City of God. People think, oh, City of God, everyone's going to be like City of God. They think once they think of the football, they think of the over sexualization of Latin Americans, and then they're thinking all Europeans think the same, but it's not that at all. People actually want to learn about the culture and traditions and the art. And I wanted to do like a docu series that documented this type of misconceptions in the media about Latin America and Latin Americans in general.
totally. There's this fake idea, stereotype of ways
Mhm.
people look like. Okay, Brazilians is all about samba and soccer,
Mm.
and there's this concept of Brazilians, the Brazilian women, they came to Europe for prostitution, things like that. That
Yeah.
it's important to have that saying in lyrics to explain what's the reality. It's not all about that. We do have problems for sure, but the problem is people get put us in a box and they think it's all about that.
Yeah, see, I wrote a song recently that kind of demonstrated that. So the whole thing was at the start of it, it hasn't been released yet, but at the start of the song, it was all about the perception of the gringo being like, oh, she wants the gringo, she wants me for being what like European or whatever else. And then in the
Yeah.
second verse, it was breaking down the kind of oh, what they expect me to be. And then at the end, I say to them, is like, what was like, it's kind of breaking down the concept of they break that personal connection. They don't want to know the woman. They want to know her for her looks, her image, because she's exotic. And I was saying no. And then I was saying to him that women in Latin America should not be treated like that by anybody. Europeans, if a man's interested in you, shouldn't be interested in how you look. They should be interested in your personality. And I was just kind of breaking down that I don't see you as the way that as an object, because he is a human being and a woman that should be treated as equal. And that's what I done song recently. It was actually called Gringo. It's like a stereotype of things.
Totally. That happens a lot, man. I'm wondering how that happened in. Do you feel like Irish women they have this kind of they're picky in terms of selecting people to have a relationship, or it's it depends. It's not like that. Like it's natural to. It depends on the person. How do you see that scenario here in Ireland?
See, the thing is that obviously the base is on person to person, because the thing is that everyone has their preference and who they like and who they love and whatever else. It's not one of these things like I just think that the media misrepresents a lot of the time, but like it's always based on the person, and
Right,
for us,
totally.
yeah, it's based on the person. Like so, you could say something, but like someone else has a different perspective on things.
Yeah. How about how many of you guys like is part of the group?
So there was a few of us, and so specifically now we're working with our friends from Malahunta, Jordan William, and ACL, and then Edu as well, and then there's Freya with the Calypso project and Tanzine. They have their own thing as well. So we're a big kind of concept of a group, but
Right.
we all kind of work together as well. But there's the three of us that came up with the idea that we need to find opportunities and we need to talk about things that are not being addressed, specifically because people from uh, Latin America feel like they're being silenced. The amount of people that have heard of that rap in Spanish can't find a place to rap in Spanish. The amount of people that rap in other languages can't find a place to rap in other languages. And the likes of CANTITO has opened the doors to the possibilities of the celebration of Brazilians, the celebration of language, the celebration of culture, and I always appreciate it. That's why I talk so highly, and I recommend anyone to look into CANTITO as an artist, even as an observer, because they're doing amazing things. A
Very
lot of my
nice. Yeah, if you can send me the link and then I can paste on description for everyone watching.
all right, I
That's
will do
good.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And are you guys on Instagram and any other media to share your works, or how how is that? Like the group is one in one group, and then everyone is connected to the same group and sharing their own things.
Yeah, so the thing is that I have my own idea in the group. Other people have other ideas in the group. But I was just
Right.
saying is the Malahunta, the Jordan from Peru, our friend Asael from Mexico, our friend Freya and Tanzine from Venezuela, our friend Aka Zero Seche Yum has his own production company that's out of Brazil, and myself, I try and run like an educational program kind of thing to
All
talk
right.
to the young children about using hip hop as a way to kind of growth and develop. But we are on Spotify, YouTube, a few other things. I've also been involved in the theatre and the arts for a very long time, being in political campaigns for activism for gay rights and other things like that. Men's mental health and other things. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my background on that.
Very nice. It's good to be involved in those things, supporting minority as well. I saw you went to the manifest, the protest against the asking to the Irish government to do something. I don't know how does it work in Ireland. Like I know the Garda is part of the system here. So do you think is there some kind of protection, or are they trying to resolve this in the best way?
See, the thing is obviously There's a lot of problems within the systems. Obviously, every country has its faults when it comes to things. Not everything runs smoothly and perfectly. But the protest was really good because it always feels like that the likes of Brazilians and all kind of standing up for themselves and not being heard. And now the country has people standing up for themselves. But myself, I've had my personal perspectives about injustice and corruption from the Gardaí, but I can't put everyone in the same bracket of being bad because there is good cops that are out there to
Oh yeah,
protect
for
people.
sure.
Um, I know as an artist we kind of say, oh, police, oh, we hate the police, they're all bad, they're all corrupt, all politicians, they're all bad, they're all corrupt. But it's not like that because the thing is that there is people, genuine people that are there to help people. But the
Totally.
protest was a real kind of eye opening, and people around were curious of what's happening. Um, and they were asking, "Oh, what happened to the Brazilian guy?" And unfortunately, he lost his leg, and now he's going back to Brazil with a different perspective coming out of Ireland. Some people, even my friends, have had rough times in Ireland. Many of them, I talk about it a lot. The last year, they've been shouting and screaming, saying that who's standing for the Brazilians, who's standing for the Brazilians, who's standing for the Venezuelans, who's standing for the Costa Ricans, the Panamas, the Ecuadors, the Paraguay, who's standing for the Latin Americans. And
Yeah.
it's about time that they kind of stood up and said, no, we're a part of this country, we're a part of this society, and I think that we need the same supports and people standing up
Totally.
for us.
Yeah, I wish everyone had the same point of view as you, because most of people, they have different ways to see things. How do you know how is the Latin groups here? Like, are they close? Like, or they don't mix each other? I would say like Brazilian groups, Venezuelans, I wouldn't know, Mexicans. Like, is there
Yeah, see,
any kind
yeah.
of
See, the thing there is groups out there that are connecting and are talking amongst each other. But myself, like I've noticed over the past worlds and different events and different things, and I don't want to speak ill because
sure?
it
Yeah,
might be misconstrued or whatever, or people might take it in the wrong way. But I feel there's a lot of separatism and nepotism and political ideologies that are brought from the likes of South America. And it always feels like that, oh, the Brazilians are protesting for the Brazilians. Oh, what happens in the Brazilians, it doesn't matter for us. Or, oh, what happens in the Venezuela community, people are not going to, from Brazil, are going to stand with the Venezuelans or so vice versa. But that's just my perspective on things. That's my opinion on it, and um, yeah, that's why we came together because if people unified, especially Latin Americans together, there would
yeah,
be a bigger kind of upscale thing, and people would start to take notice. So, oh, Latin Americans are being ill treated because they're all in like the same bracket. They come from another continent working in a different country with a different language. They all go to school, they're all educated, but they all have this kind of, oh, they don't understand us because of our traditions, or they don't understand us. And it's like, if like, because a lot of Latin America speaks Spanish and the Portuguese, that's where the kind of language barrier kind of breaks, and that's why there's a lot of separatism and nepotism amongst the countries because of this. Um, but it's
totally.
also historical when it comes to the internal wars between the different countries, and yeah, it's all to do with like the politics as well, you know.
Totally. Are you involved with the things related to the housing problems in Ireland? What's going on? Why a lot of people haven't enough money to afford the proper renting here, and a lot
Yeah,
of people, families.
yeah. See, the construct of the attitude is that there's a lot of different issues that are not being addressed, and that's a governmental problem. Because like they're blaming the wrong people. Like I have in one of my songs, it's not the foreign man's policy to be able to change things. It's the governments that are running the country, are the ones that are your local like politician. You have to go to them, use your
Yeah,
voice, and they're not listening. Um, but it is what it is. You know yourself, Brazil, the politicians. There's a lot of corruption amongst politicians and whatever else. It's been very evident. Um, there's been many of people that have been screaming and shouting about the housing issue. Myself, a lot of my friends have been in a room where were several people in one room, and this is not healthy. This is not healthy for personal. It's not healthy for health wise. Um, it's not healthy in many ways to have seven people in one room or in a house with 20 24 people or whatever to use
Oh yeah.
the two bathrooms and facilities, like people going to work, people too tired. So yeah, it's very, very deep issue that's I don't know
Yeah.
if there's very much of a resolution, but if people stand up. Um,
Yeah, I think the idea is uh, get more people worried about this through the music, through the arts, get more people connected. So the more people get educated, the more people will be there to fight against whatever the government's trying to force on us,
yeah,
like, so that's important. All the manifests, street manifests and things like that, to protest, to it's kind of a way to show to the system, to the government, like, you can't do it the way you want. We are here, we are watching you. This is not correct. We have our rights. So, like, you guys went there to protest in favor of the guy that got injured by the guard. So i'm sure I'm sure the guard wasn't thinking to do it, but I'm sure he needs to give some response, to
yeah,
society.
yeah. See, the thing is, it's a life changing, and it's going to be a mental toll on himself and his family. Unfortunately, his circumstances have changed. I read in the newspaper of what his dad was saying about him coming to Ireland. Um, but it's unfortunate case of bad bad thing happening to him that he never expected and he doesn't deserve.
Totally.
Um, Obviously, people are enraged. They're enraged for different issues. But like I was saying, that people are not like it always feels like that Brazilians are talking for themselves. It always feels like they're by themselves. My friends have said this to me. I've had many of my friends cry over the issues of mistreatment in this country when it comes to things. Um, they're like, "Oh, I've been in this country for 7 or 8 years, and they're the only Irish person that I talk to, and the only Irish person I'm friends with." I've heard this from many people, even when I'm on the microphone. How enraged and how like passionate about like this is wrong. People not standing up. People are not talking about this. People are not talking about the the workers of like the Latin Americans that are doing the working as cleaners, trying to afford education, trying to stay in the country, pay expensive rent, to pay GMB and whatever, trying to just survive.
Survive.
Yeah, people are not talking about it, and I've been saying this a lot, and it's the thing is as yesterday is like it's gonna be like a tumbleweed. It's gonna be like this is going to lead on to something else, and now they're going to start to realize that people are standing up, and that's where the positive perspective is now, is that people are going to stand up and realize, and they're going to be asking questions, and they're going to be looking deeper into this, because before they weren't getting the recognition, and I think Brazilians now are like, we need to do something about this. We can't stand. We can't take this no. We can't take this no more. We can't take the unfair treatment. And I know I'm repeating myself, but yeah, it was an eye opener for people, and people are curious.
Totally, man. Totally agree. It's time to change. You can't stay like that all the time.
Mhm.
You know, is there any like event or gigs you guys are planning next
Um,
few days?
yeah. See, the thing is that it's especially coming to hip hop. There's a lot of opinions on hip hop. Some people don't like hip hop. Some people do.
Yeah,
Same with music. As you know, like Bollywood funky events are always like jam packed. Reggaeton events are always jam packed.
yeah,
Latin dance is always packed, so there is a massive impact on society when it comes to them things. ourselves, it's hard to find a venue for hip hop because people are not willing to listen to hip hop music. But because we're using like three different languages to try and get a message across, and because we're like super political, it takes time for people to kind of
Right.
come and
So
say, "Oh, give us an event or whatever." But
yeah,
we
yeah,
performed in Galway recently.
yeah. So are you guys trying to reach the mainstream or the underground? Where do you guys see yourselves by trying to get your lyrics or your arts to society? Is there like, oh, we don't want to cross the line, we don't want to be a mainstream group, we just want to be in underground? Is there any concept like this? How do you guys put yourselves in that field? If you got my question.
The See, the thing is that people do music for different reasons.
Yeah.
My thing is that I see myself as a geopolitician. So geopolitics is like my kind of favorite thing to talk about. So I'd love to go to the likes of Sao Paulo, perform in Sao Paulo, meet all the different people in Sao Paulo, talk to the people, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama, Honduras, Jamaica, Haiti, and know about their issues. I don't do it for
All right.
the
Got
mega
you.
fame and money. So, or Colombia, I do it for the education, go to the
Right.
different children develop programs. But people have different opinions on that. I just do it for the love of music. I do it for the love of what hip hop's all about, the message, the power, what it brings, and that's what I do it for. But other people do it for different things. I can't kind of speak on the boys' perspectives on things, but it doesn't matter. Whatever, if the message gets across the way it should, and people are treated in humane in main ways, it should be. That's my goal, just to go to different countries and like
Awesome.
let's say,
Yeah, I didn't know about this category, I would say. So you're saying that the things you talk about are problems regarding other countries, like specifically, like, okay, this lyric I will talk about problems going on in Rio de Janeiro, be-
yep,
or and then there's something happening in Venezuela, and then you try to get the most of what's going on there
yeah,
and protest. Yeah. All right, that's very
because
cool.
yeah, because the thing is that I always talk to the guys like because all the countries are so close to each other, but they don't know the issues that's going on in the other country. And
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, do you not hear what happened in Honduras or Colombia or Venezuela, Panama,
yeah,
Bermuda, Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, you know, Mexico. You not heard about the issues that are going on, Argentina, you know. So I like to
yeah,
investigate. I like to do like journalism and stuff like that, looking
yeah.
into the
Very
different
nice.
countries.
I met a guy here. I live in Galway. I met a guy from Bolivia, and he was saying about the problems going on there, and they mostly are very similar to what happens in Brazil, and I'm sure in general of Latin America. I mean, even Ireland, there are few things that are similar. It's not about third world country.
Mm-hmm.
It happens everywhere, every country. We are dealing with human beings. Human beings are evil. Can be. You
That
know.
is so true.
So
Yeah. See, that's the thing as well because people fail to realize that one of the most important things in this world for all of us is based in Brazil, the Amazonia. It's the oxygen to the world, you know. So people forget about the resources that are provided from these countries. The likes of coffee, the likes of sugar, the likes of tobacco and other things, you know,
yeah,
provided from like the Latin countries as well. And people forget about that. Same with Africa, a lot of the different resources, the minerals, the different things that come from these countries, these vital resources that we need. And I think the people should be treated with appreciation and the benefits that they've given to us should be
to-
kind of adequate to respect for them, you know?
totally, man, totally. Very nice. So, how do you feel about the Irish citizen in terms of be conscious? You know, the society in general. Are they more like they worried about things to improve society, or are they more? they look straight and they don't look what's going on beside Ireland, you know. Like I know sometimes in France, the people there they can protest whatever happens if the government do a little bit of things that they don't agree. They get together and they are massive on the streets to protest things like that. Brazilians are kind of doing that slowly, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, how is the Irish right now? I don't really see things going on here like protests. Is because people are happy or they don't. I mean, it's not because they don't care, but maybe it's not culture. You know, how do you see that?
See, the thing is that Ireland, we're known for revolutions. We're known throughout the world for revolution and the fighting philosophy, like the 1960 uprising when we got our kind of liberation from England and became the Republic of Ireland. So we're kind of known for revolution, and there is people that have that base philosophy of Ireland. And the thing is, as well, is that because the world is changing and we're basing our philosophies off different things, um, there is some people that think of the anti immigration philosophy.
All
I
right.
But see, the thing is that it's not helping. It's not helping the situation that the government are not listening to the Irish people. They're not listening to the cause. And the thing is that they feel like other people are being treated better or being treated before them. And this this is not a good philosophy because it's kind of bringing a sort of the discrimination and racism and the construct of discrimination and racism is building. But the thing is that we're not known for the country to be discriminative or racism in any sort of way because we've been treated very badly through
Totally.
generations. And Ireland has a high population of immigration across the world from Australia to Canada to America and other places. And we've built this society like the way Brazilians, the way Latin Americans, the way Africans, Asians, and other people are coming to our country to build our society. And it's kind of like it's a governmental issue that is constructing the form of racism that's happening because people are not being heard to, and then they're getting bashed in the newspapers and not kind of being heard. It's just like you're not listening to us. You're not listening to the way our people are being treated, and people are getting angry. And then when
Totally.
people are getting angry and they're not listening to, they will become racist. They will become discriminative. They will feel like that. Oh, they're treating us like this, so I'm gonna become racist. And the thing is that the same with the Nazi regime. When the Nazi regime were telling people about this and that, this and that, they came in and kind of poisoned the young minds and got them to join the Nazi regime through the way people were being treated, you know. And I feel like it's the same way it's being constructed by the political and government figures. And it's not nice in society, and it's not nice to the people because the way we were treated throughout generations and generations, you know. But yeah,
I think
that is it. Like I would love to travel. I've always said to people that I want to go to Brazil and experience it because a lot of my friends are Brazil. And the thing with the hospitality with Brazilians is pretty amazing. And I've always say this to my friends that are from other countries. The hospitality from Brazilians is pretty amazing. Like
very nice. I'm sure whenever you go, you're gonna feel home as well because there's a scene there, hip hop scene. So it's good to be in touch. I'm sure it's gonna make you more uh, aware. You know, being closer to this. I'm sure you already know a lot of things. Maybe you know more than me because you're involved with hip hop and
yeah,
people around. You know, so would be
that's why
great.
I was
So
really.
if I have the chance to
Uh,
go,
yeah. I was watching the documentary and I remember I was saying about Racionais MCs and
yeah,
the thing was is that there was like So it was translated over different in English, but it was like Mono Brown describing about the transatlantic operation from Africa, and Brazil has a high population of African ancestry because of the enslavement and stuff from the different empires. And the thing is that he was saying that the transatlantic operation was botched. And then I was sitting there for ages thinking about it, and I was like, how did it work? I never thought of it that way. And I was looking into the really deep complexities, and I was like saying to myself, he made me think different on things, like, because it was true. It was like they were never meant to be in this position where they were rapping. That hip hop was like huge all over the world, and that it came from the suffering of the enslavement. And now people like myself, my people like my friend Tanzan, my friend Aka, they're all speaking through hip hop that was came from the enslavement. And it's a they were never meant to be in this position, but now you're in a position where it's like people are talking, people are speaking, and they're communicating with each other through the form of hip hop music, and it's amazing.
Totally, man.
Well, it made me think. It made me think a lot different when it came to things. And the documentary is absolutely amazing. If anyone wants to watch it, Rationais MCs on Netflix.
Netflix.
Pretty,
I will
pretty
definitely
good.
add
Like,
on. Yeah, I will definitely add on description of this video because yeah, I wish a lot of friends of mine here from Ireland could watch this movie, this documentary, and even the movie. Talking about what happens in Rio de Janeiro. And yeah, I think we went most of the things that I wanted to ask about the group, what you guys do, and who you guys are. And I wish you guys can get more people involved, through
that's
through the
that's our
music,
plan.
through the arts.
Yeah, that's our plan for the future. We're looking to try and get people from that speak French, Arabic, other languages into our group as well. We want to be as like give us opportunity to many people as possible when it comes to languages. And the idea, I'll tell you the idea because I tell this all the time to people, and I was telling my friends in later stages of what the philosophy of the logo OLX actually meant. So it meant
Yeah,
the OLX, the Irish Latin Exchange, came from the philosophy of Mexico and stolen culture, because a lot of North America is influenced by Mexico and the stolen culture and the land and the people that was taken away from them by the involvement of different empires coming in and taking. But it represents the concept of stolen culture, and that's where we kind of influence from. It came from the Mexicano kind of way of the way they were treated. So you can pretty
cool.
much tell that a lot of our base philosophies are around kind of stolen culture and stolen heritage and stolen languages. And now we're left with this. I'm left with English. My friends left with Spanish, and my other friends left with speaking
Nice.
Portuguese. A
Very
lot
nice.
like myself, we still have the Irish language, but other countries don't have the opportunity to be able to speak their languages anymore because of history being destroyed and changed and
Totally.
fabricated. But we're very we're very deep and philosophical on these things.
That's very nice, man. It's deep. It's not only protesting, but there's something behind. There's a structure. There's a thought behind. You know, and man, thanks for your time here.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'll tell you some of the Instagram so people will know. So there's Akazero Sejayum,
Yeah,
there's Tanza Music, Freya MSC, and then there's Romeo Outspoken, 92, and then there's the Irish Latin Exchange as well. That's our kind of main like, group.
perfect. I will
So
definitely
they're
get
all our
those links.
Instagrams and Spotify's and stuff.
Nice, man. Thanks so much for your time here. I will.
No, much appreciated for having me on. Thank
Yeah. Are you guys planning to do some kind of events outside where you guys are, like Galway, for example? If you guys, is there some
No,
connection?
we've done that. Yeah, we've done Galway. We're actually connected with our friend from Spot Arts Entertainment, who's an Irish hip hop producer. He's pretty amazing. He's working with all the guys now, and he's building a scene in Galway for people. And then our friend in Cork, Lineker, he's also doing things. So yeah, there's many different people that we're working with, many different people that we have to thank for building who we are. Like,
Very nice, man. Cool. Congrats for the songs. The tell the Venezuelan singer, he's very good. I like the song. Singing in
well done.
Spanish. And say hi to the Brazilian guy as well.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, I will do. Thank you so much for listening to it.
No worries. And
Ciao.
we'll be in touch. I send you the link whenever I have it done.
Okay, thank you.
See you, man. Cheers.